My name is Chris Achenbach, and I am Principal at Zocalo Community Development and co-founding partner. Zocalo builds urban mixed-use projects, multifamily housing, generally with commercial in the Denver area, and we specialize in green design and construction, sustainability. Building sustainable projects is something that my partner and I decided we were committed to as individuals. It was a core value of the business. But we also decided that it would be an effective business model going forward, that as energy costs were rising, as the consciousness about sustainability was becoming more of the public knowledge, building sustainably was a core part of the business model and also fit our personal beliefs. I've been in the architecture and construction industry for about 13 years. Actually, my first position in the architectural and construction industry was building straw bale homes, which most people haven't heard of, but this is the construction of houses out of bales of straw. So it's a very green type of construction. It's using recycled products. It's highly energy efficient. And in that role, I was designing the houses and overseeing construction. And that really set the tone for what I've done with my career, which has been a combination of architecture and construction work, a design-build approach. ULI has offered a lot of benefits to our organization. There's been a lot of work behind the scenes, work on zoning codes, work on land use practices, best practices that have been established by ULI that have come to help our group support what we do as developers and designers. Specifically, though, with the local chapter, ULI has offered us the ability to network with other members of the design, development, and support communities, and offered us ways to highlight the work that we do and work closely with local politicians and policymakers to enact change in the areas of land use and development. ULI National has helped support our industry by integrating different areas of the country and really different areas of the world, by promoting best practices, by working on land use policy nationally. And of course, one of my favorite benefits is the fall meeting that ULI sponsors that brings together developers and members of the development community from all around the world to network and see great presentations. I think the fall meeting is a very important part of what ULI does. Actually, my first introduction to ULI was when I was organizing an urban green conference about 4 years ago here in Denver. And this was a conference to highlight local projects. ULI joined as a partner in this program and became a very important part of it, getting the word out, helping to organizing it, enriching the program of that conference. That was where I met our executive director, Michael Lucchese, and saw terrific opportunities that ULI offered. After that, I was invited to start a Sustainable Communities Committee with ULI and was the founding co-chair of the local Sustainable Communities Committee, and have since moved on to be vice chair of ULI Colorado and chair-elect of ULI starting in about a month. The development industry has gone through a lot of changes in the past couple of years, and so I see several opportunities for ULI, several important initiatives that need to be pursued nationally as well as locally. Part of this revolves around resetting the industry a little bit. There's been changes in finance, people have lost jobs. It's been such a big shakeup that I think ULI can play a really big role in resetting the clock a little bit, getting the industry reestablished and back on track. Specifically, though, there's been other changes in how people view development. The push toward transit-oriented development, higher density, mixed use, urban development is meaningful and an important part of the sustainability movement as well. And I think ULI plays a great role in this. Part of it will be about educating the policymakers. Part of it will be about educating the public, who has historically seen density as something to be avoided. And then it's also providing the tools and resources to the development community to build in a more sustainable way. And finally, I think that a really important part of what ULI does is to introduce a new generation to development, to bring in, with the Young Leaders Program, younger members who are entering the career and mentor them through that process. Being a member in ULI has great advantages for anyone who's directly related to development or in a support industry. It's a great way to network. It is really the premier organization for the development community. And what I see as one of the greatest values is that it integrates different peripheral industries around the community together in one organization. So it's not just realtors, it's not just developers, it's not just architects or builders or finance. You get a mixture of all these people, and that's really where the key introductions and networking occurs. There's two programs with our local chapter that are very effective at bringing in new members and introducing them to ULI. One is the READY initiative, which is the Real Estate Diversity Initiative. This is a program specifically for women and minorities that allows them the chance to pair up with a senior ULI member, an experienced developer, in almost a classroom but also a field-oriented situation. So it's a monthly meeting. There are homework assignments. There are discussions every month about finance or about entitlement or about design. And it's a great way to cross-pollinate between new members coming in and existing, more experienced members. And similarly, there's another program that ULI offers, which is targeted toward young leaders. It's a young leader mentor program, and a senior ULI member partners with 5 or 6 young leaders on a quarterly basis and introduces them, answers questions, introduces them to projects, bridges the gap between more experienced developers and new developers coming into the industry. Both programs are a great way to introduce new members to ULI and offer educational opportunities as well. I think that one of the most interesting aspects of ULI is its unbiased approach and lack of lobbying around land use issues. ULI's mission really is to create a forum for these ideas to come together between experts in the development and industry and policymakers so that the best ideas can be developed and enacted. But by not being a lobbying group, ULI maintains a high perch and a safe perspective to enact this change, an unbiased viewpoint, and has great respect among both policymakers and experts in the field.